All right, so we get done with the sniper course. You're back at JTF2 in the is it Sniper Squadron?
So yeah, I went over to snipers right after my course, basically. Yeah.
And this is
So I left 2 squadron, went to a different squadron that had the sniper troop in it.
Is this a much smaller squadron?
It's just it was kind of like support, So like the tactical part of that squadron was like the snipers, and we would do like reconnaissance and sniping. And then there was, oh man, I don't even remember the other troops. It was just like, it was a completely different makeup. It wasn't like an assault squadron at all.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you farmed out
Yeah.
to the other squadrons then?
Yeah. So like for an IR, cycle where you're on, immediate response, you have a certain amount of snipers attached to that. An overseas task, depending on the task, a certain amount of snipers.
Are you deployed with that squadron the entire time, or are you kind of as needed? They fly you over.
No, it was almost always you would go and do the full deployment.
Okay.
In my experience, I did like the full deployment with the squadron. Yeah.
Who'd you deploy with first?
My first Iraq tour was in 2015, and this was like Iraq had kind of just kicked off for us. There was one roto before us, which was Roto 0, just to make it all confusing. Second roto was Roto 1, which is the one I was on. And they only sent 2 snipers, so I deployed with like my TL, which just so happened to be my current brother-in-law. And it was just a 2-man sniper team. We actually mostly worked with our brother unit, the Censor I was telling you guys about.
Mm-hmm.
For most of that tour. I'm trying to think. Well, it was a mix, actually, sorry. So we were with some 2 squadron guys and working with the Censor guys. And we were there was kind of a front line. It was crazy. It was different. It was the Kurds were trying to hold ISIS back. And it'd come to like just old, there's like a front line, and there's some no man's land, and then there was ISIS on the other side.
So where were you guys? Over like Erbil?
This was like, we were out of Erbil, but more towards Mosul. Okay. So it was my first tour. It was like Mosul was like the city I could see like way in the background on all the different tasks we did there. So that was mainly just trying to help the Kurds whichever way we could. There's a little bit of training stuff. We didn't do too much of that. That was more what Censor was up to. But it was just navigating all the restrictions and rules and stuff like that, and just trying to be as effective as you could against fucking ISIS that wanted to keep pushing back all the way through Kurdistan.
So are you guys getting pretty kinetic? Or
yeah, it was. Well, when we got there had just been like the first Canadian casualty of that war. And so when I first got on the ground, there was like a bunch of restrictions, like no move here and there. And like, we just had to figure out ways around that to get to work. So like eventually, it was kind of always a back and forth. Like, we want to go do this, we want to go do that. It's like, well, you can do this, you can't do that. This is approved, you can't go there. Like, just all of that. But I was with, like you said, the TL I was with, like, we would just fucking every night brainstorm. Like, how do we get out there now? How do we get out there? How do we do this? And then, yeah, it ended up being a pretty good aggressive tour. And a lot of it was like long, so it'd be like sniper stuff because you're on a line, and
mm-hmm.
they're not standing 300 meters out there because anyone that did that would have been dead already. So it was like sniper and airstrikes. That combination was
okay.
What we were doing, and it was
describe a typical day on the line. How many guys are you with?
Yeah, so it would be normally myself and my sniper partner, who was the TL and like our 2-man team, kind of ran the OPs that we would go on, and we would bring some guys from CSOR. Sometimes we'd have a JTAC with us. So that's the guy that like controls all the aircraft and drops. Normally an interpreter, or every time an interpreter. And the crew numbers varied. Sometimes it would be 4 of us out for the night. Sometimes it would be like 8 or 10. And then sometimes we would go out with like the other squadron guys that were there. So we're all just like trying to get on this line and trying to bring the fight to ISIS. So the numbers varied, but it would go.
Are you with any Kurds?
Yeah. The whole time it's all, the whole line is just like, it's crazy to see this line at night because you can just see, like, it's just like bunkers and a light that just goes across the horizon, and like all of these positions are manned all the time so that like ISIS cannot get through. So we would normally go out a few days at a time so that we could go to one, go to another, kind of support from wherever we were getting information that shit was happening. And sometimes it would be very inflated. I remember the first one we went out, it was like my first real thing really I was doing as a sniper. So I was like, I'd been a sniper for a long time, considering my CF time. And I was like, I am fucking ready. Like we went out and I didn't sleep at all for like 2 days because I was like, I'm not missing a goddamn thing. When we got there, the Kurds were like, oh, every night, you know, there's machine gun fire from there. Every night there's a sniper over there. I was like, okay. I'm like, fucking here. Like I was set up, ready to go. And my team lead, he's like, yeah, okay, well, wake me up if something crazy's happening. Because he's had a lot of experience already.
Yeah.
He's done so much shit. And I'm like, just ready to go. So I'm like dipping, like just coffee and dip. And like, I'm not sleep. I'll sleep when we pull off and we go back to camp. And it was like, not a fucking thing happened for like 2 days. I'm like, through the turf, I'm like, what's going on here? They said every single day you're getting shot at from this place. And like, so there was balancing like who was overblowing whatever was happening to them or exaggerating, and then trying to figure out where you could have the best kind of effect, and then just trying to get your place, trying to get your spot there. We did that one, nothing happened, but it was normally a few days on the line, go back and assess, see if anything new came, if there's a better place to be, or there was, you know, someone was taking fire, or just whatever the best way we could kind of support.
Did you get to do what you wanted to do as a sniper on that deployment?
Yeah, I mean, it's a weird thing, but you always wish for it to be closer for some reason. I don't know why we're like that, but it's like, you know, you shoot someone like, so the closest, the best, the best place we got was a position that was like 1,700 meters to the town that ISIS was in. And it was like this little valley looking down, and like there was always something going on there. And so that's where we were like sniper fire, and still sometimes you're like, it's so blurry. You're 1,700 meters, you get shot machine gun through a window, and you shoot, and it's like the firing stops. You're like, I don't fucking know. Is this guy dead? Did he run out the back? Like, there's no way to know.
Yeah.
The most effective thing I think that we did with the combination of what we had was wrangling guys and pinning them down places and then dropping a bomb.
What do you mean wrangling?
Well, so like if a fighter's headed one way, you shoot at him. If it's not a first round hit, which 2 kilometer first round hit is like, it happens. We'll get to that after, but like it's probably going to be in vicinity, and the spotter shooter team will walk on. That, normally now if a round lands, they'll squirt into something. We just pin someone in and drop a bomb. That's what on that tour we found most successful.
Okay.
And it was fucking successful. Yeah.
How many bombs do you guys think you dropped that deployment?
Holy fuck, I have no idea. I don't know. It got slick though. Like, there's a bunch of things like you're obviously always watching for. You call it collateral damage, but it's people that are not in the fight.
Yeah.
Because it was most of these areas close to the line, it was only ISIS left, but not exclusively. Like sometimes, now whether it was their family or like they use shields and stuff all the time. So like in sniping,
Human shields?
Oh yeah.
Did you see that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's go into that.
That was the next roto, but sure. So this would be moving forward to the next roto that I did there, which would be in 2016 and into 17. And this was the tour that we made that really long engagement.
Well, let's go back. Hold
Okay.
on. Let's go back. I
right.
want to take a break before we get there.
Okay.
So this deployment, you're doing all sniper stuff, but did you really get the satisfaction that you were hoping from being? Did you get your first confirmed kill and witness the kill? Is what I'm asking, because that's what every sniper wants. They
Yeah,
want to
I
take
know.
the long
And
shot.
no, and I don't know if I ever really even. Well, no, never mind. We did. So sniping, no, it was always like guess, like it worked. I don't know what happened on the other side of that
Okay.
wall, window, whatever. The biggest numbers were from airstrikes for sure. We
Okay.
would get it dialed in, pin some group of people or whatever there, and just fucking end them that way.
I don't find that as satisfying.
Oh no, I totally agree. I know what you're getting at for sure.
So,
Yeah.
I've done a lot of engagements where what you're talking about, where it's, well, I mean, there's no more gunfire, but so you didn't get the
Nope.
full blown confirmation yet.
No, not yet.
All right. So you come home.
Yeah, I come home from that one wasn't that long. I think we were there for 4 or 5 months. 4 months. Yeah.
Okay.
This is when they were trying to do shorter and just get guys through. One, because there was a bit of a break that period that I did my sniper course between like what was going on in Afghanistan, and then we weren't doing much in Afghanistan for a while. And then when Iraq happened, there was like everyone wanted to go. So I think part of the shorter rotations were, we don't know how long it's going to go. Let's keep guys fresh, but also let's get guys going because that's important.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the retention at JTF2? Is it good?
It used to be.
It's not anymore. No, COVID fucked it up.
Yeah, I think COVID.
Well, we'll get into that.
Hey everybody, I'm Shawn Ryan. Click here to subscribe to the Shawn Ryan Show YouTube channel for the hottest and most compelling interviews that you will not see anywhere else. I've also made a playlist of all the previous SRS episodes so they're easy to find. You can find that right here.